This year I set a goal of talking about each of the U.S. states and inhabited territories, and we have a state to talk about today, so let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for November 8th. November 8th is the 312th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 313th in leap years, with 53 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is antipodal. Antipodal is an adjective that refers to something that's situated on the opposite side of Earth or relates to a direct or diametrically opposite position. In a broader sense, it can also describe two things that are entirely opposite or contrary in nature. Example sentences might include, philosophers often present ideas that are antipodal to conventional beliefs, or the bustling city of New York and the quiet rural areas of New Zealand are almost antipodal in their way of life, or the antipodal points on the Earth's surface are connected by an imaginary straight line that passes through the planet's center. The word antipodal comes to us through Latin, originally from Greek. First known use of the word antipodal is in the mid-1600s. Antipodal. And with that, Montana was admitted as the 41st U.S. state on November 8, 1889. Montana's capital is in Helena, and Billings is its largest city. Montana's nicknames include Big Sky Country, the Treasure State, Land of Shining Mountains, or the Last Best Place. Montana's motto is Oro y Plata, which means gold and silver. Montana does have an anthem, and it's called Montana. Montana is the fourth largest state by area, but the eighth least populous, and the third least densely populated state. People from this state are called Montanans. Montana's economy is based primarily on agriculture, ranching, and cereal grain farming. Other economic resources include oil, gas, coal, mining, and lumber. Tourism is also significant to Montana's economy, with millions of tourists visiting the state each year. Early Spanish explorers to that general geographic area named the region Montaña del Norte, which means Northern Mountain. In 1863, the United States House Committee on Territories included the area that would eventually become Montana in a territory known as Idaho Territory. Just to give a little more context, this time period was back in the Abraham Lincoln days. Interestingly, there was a bit of disagreement as to what the territory should be called, but the Committee on Territories decided they had discretion to choose the name, so the original name of Montana was adopted. Montana's state bird is the western meadowlark. State butterfly is one called a morning cloak butterfly. The state fish of Montana is the West Slope cutthroat trout, and the state animal is the grizzly bear. State flower is the bitter root, the state tree is the ponderosa pine, and Montana has state gemstones, the sapphire and the agate. And from the fun fact department, you might be aware that this lovely planet upon which we reside is about 71%, nearly 3/4, covered by water, and about 97% of that water is ocean. So, relative to today's word, antipodal, I was surprised to learn that most of the contiguous United States is antipodal to an area in the Indian Ocean, water straight up for the most part. Montana and Colorado are the only states in the contiguous U.S. that are antipodal to land. Not the entire state, though. Montana has an antipode in the Kerguelen Islands, also known as the Desolation Islands, located in the sub-Antarctic Ocean. And in case you're curious, Colorado's antipode is a volcanic island in the Indian Ocean called Amsterdam, and Hawaii is antipodal to an area in Botswana on the African continent. Everything else in the U.S. is antipodal to water. How about that? Happy Statehood Day, Montana. As I mentioned somewhere up there, Montana's anthem is a song called Montana. It was written by Charles Cohan and composed by Joseph E. Howard and was adopted as the state song on February 20th, 1945. Montana. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That playlist lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page. It's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.